Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Eat Sleep Sixers. I am one of your hosts, 215 the Sports Guy. We have my brother BG here. We have Jose, and we have the first lady of the family, Jenny from the block.
Hey.
How are y'all tonight? How are y'all? How y'all doing? How y'all feeling? What's going on? What's the energy like?
I got a different vibe than I had last game for some reason. I don't know. It's just something's missing. Something's missing
No
What?
game's
What?
gonna compare.
at all.
Yeah, most definitely. If those who don't know what BG is referring to, BG was
No
on the
feedback
job.
on there. If you got your
Live.
phone, mute your phone. I
Okay,
hear the
got you,
feedback.
got you, got you. That's all me. Uh, sorry about that. For those who don't know, BG was live on the scene, on the job, courtside, right next to the Sixers. He actually tapped Doc in the back of his head during the game to try to
I
call the
told him to
play.
sub me in. He wouldn't sub me in. I'm like, yo, we up. Like, golly, Doc just so stubborn. He don't never want to change things up.
Jose, I'm loving your shirt, brother. I'm loving your shirt. Way to represent, brother.
That's
Sixers
awesome.
24/7 is the group that we all reside from, where we all pretty much met each other at. It is a family, but it is also a Facebook sports group. So if you are in need of a Sixers go-to sports group, you are to look up Sixers 24/7 right away and join the family. So we're not going to play around with this. We going, I got the keys. We're going straight to the keys of the game tonight. And we're going to start off with our first lady. Jen, what are your keys to success for us to win tonight?
Show up.
The first and
Easy.
foremost, right?
I was looking up some notes earlier today, and I had my whole spiel, and then I saw the injury report, and I was like,
Jesus.
just go out there and play like you're playing pickup. You'll be fine.
So who
No,
who is
seriously
out
though.
for the
I mean,
Pelicans tonight?
I just feel
The
like they just
entire
need to not fall into a trap because New Orleans is on the second half of back to back, and it would be easy to just kind of take them really lightly. So they should probably not do what I was advising them to do.
Just show up, right?
That's
I would agree. BG, what is your keys to victory tonight, brother?
as always, man, I just need guys to make my big fella's job easier. If my key to the game tonight is going to happen in the last 12 minutes of the game. I don't want to see Joel Embiid. I don't need to see Joel Embiid. You just asked the question while Jim was talking, like, who is all out? Their top five players, in my personal opinion, I mean, obviously, I'm not a NBA analyst and can tell you they're definitely the top five on this team. But Jonas Valanciunas is out, Brandon Ingram is out, Josh Hart is out, Devontae Graham is out, and of course, the big fella's out, Zion Williamson. This team doesn't belong on the court with us. We've said that a
Wow.
bunch this season, and we've stepped into those games and made it a game. Let's not do that tonight. And like I said, my key to the game is not seeing Joel Embiid in the fourth quarter. Make it easy on the big guy. He's been carrying all season. Role players, let's give him a break tonight. Let's give him a break tonight. Do your thing, Embiid, but do it for
Yeah.
3 quarters, and then sit on the sideline and eat some massage or something.
Just don't eat no burgers and milkshakes like you was some years ago, big fella. You know what I mean? And we'll be
Yeah,
fine.
don't mix the Shirley Temple in there neither.
I was about to say that.
All right, so it's
Jose?
my turn.
Yes, sir.
My keys to the game gonna be 4, 3, 2, and 1. Y'all got to play y'all butts off because when you look at this depleted roster, the only one who can afford to sit down after a good outing from the entire team is Embiid. You ain't got much left to put in there. So them four guys got to step up
right.
and step up big because chances are they're going to be playing the majority of the minutes anyway, especially in the close games. So,
I agree.
yeah, them four right there. I can't say nothing about the bench because we ain't got none. You know what I mean? And then, if I want to ride the wave of BG and say we want Embiid to sit down, then them four guys that I mentioned have to play good.
Most definitely.
True.
Most definitely. I would agree with you with that. And my key to the game is not different than no other game, supporting cast. I want to see these guys get comfortable. And this is the type of game and the type of team that you can find yourself some extra minutes and grow some continuity as an offense together. The bench has just been looking lost for a little while now. So, key players have been out from that bench. Shake, Cork Moss, Matisse has been out, Danny Green. So, I want to see with Matisse back tonight, is what I'm hearing. It hasn't been confirmed by BG. BG. If it doesn't come from BG,
As
it's
of right,
not it
as
yet.
as of right now, he has fully come off of the injury report.
Good, good.
All day it was saying questionable. It went from out to about halfway through the day. It went to questionable, but currently give me 2 seconds. I'm almost down to Philly. Currently our injury report is Shea, Danny, and Seth, and then 2-5. Obviously, I don't need to say him every week. I mean every game, but y'all know. So it looks like Matisse is back. I'm still waiting on the starting lineup to come through, and second it does, I'm definitely gonna let y'all know. But Matisse is officially off the injury report for tonight.
I mean, we've been lacking. We've been lacking a perimeter defender. We've been lacking somebody with his skill set, and it's shown. It's shown in different games. Guys have done what they wanted as far as driving the rack, getting their own shot on the perimeter without getting bothered. So I'm glad Matisse is back. I'm definitely glad Matisse is back. So Teller is blowing us up right now, guys, and he's begging to talk some tea. And
Okay.
the
This the
tea
only
of the
this the
day.
only comment that matter. This the only comment that matter. If he would have just put me in the game, Taylor, we would have been able to
Oh, did you
close San
mean me,
Antonio.
Taylor?
No, you got too many E's in your name. You forgot how to spell J.
We had to make it fancy. Throw an extra E on there.
We have two greens on the show, one with the extra E. But I think the tea he is referring to, it's what's been talked about the last few days. There's different rumors going around. One of those rumors is, Morey wants to wait till the off season so he could possibly get Harden on a sign and trade deal. Everybody knows that, Morey fancies Harden a lot. This has been going on for some years. Regardless of his age, how do you guys feel about Harden alongside Joel Embiid?
Um,
Crickets.
like no, it's
I
not
was waiting for
cricket.
you to call my name.
I don't want that trade to happen with Ben Simmons for the simple fact that we ain't gonna have him long. And if we do have him long, how much he got left in the tank?
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, don't give me no dinosaur for a young kid.
Most definitely.
That's what I'm saying. Not saying that Harden's a dinosaur, but he's at that point where his game is like slightly declining. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I'd rather take a young guy, a really, really young guy, than Harden.
I hear you. I hear you. Jenny from the
With
block.
Toby all day long. Do it.
I hear you. I hear you. Jenny from the block, give us
I
your
don't
take.
think they want Toby. And listen, I would have no problem at all having James Harden on our team because I think that as the go-to guy, which he is not necessarily on the Nets, I think we'd be seeing some old school James Harden. But my issue with trading James Harden trading Ben to the Nets is we're trading Ben to our competition, right? And I don't want Ben in our division. No offense, but I mean, he's going to make their team better because they have shooters.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Isn't that supposed to be like cardinal sin to trade
Right?
a player from
Don't
your
trade
team
to your enemy.
to your division?
I mean,
That's exactly why Barkley went to Phoenix. We were smart
Absolutely.
enough to understand you don't want to see him 4 times a year.
BG, give us your take on the tea of the week.
As I posted on E Sleep Sixers Instagram, if you're not following on Instagram, type in E Sleep Sixers. As I
Right
posted on
now.
that, when I posted the post about James Harden wanting to tamper with free agency a little bit, maybe he'll put his toe in the pot on the offseason. When I saw that, instead of saying, "Hey, let's just wait for him," my status on the bottom of that picture was simple. More you want him so bad, the only way you can get him is if you offloads Ben contract. So I want to trade Ben for pieces, not for James Harden. And then if you can get him in the offseason, we take him in the offseason. But I agree with Jose. I don't want to trade Ben for James Harden, but I would love to trade Ben now. Look for Harden in the offseason if possible. He
I
loves he
hear you.
loves he loves Joel Embiid. He
Yeah, he
loves
loves
me
him.
too.
He loves him.
He's expressed that he likes Philadelphia. He could work here, but I agree with Jose when he says I'm not trading a kid for. We don't want, for lack of a better word, dinosaur. We don't want to say it as if James Harden is on his last wheel, but facts is facts. I mean, he's the tail end of his career, and when I say tail end, maybe 4 years playing at this level,
Maybe.
maybe 4 years playing
I,
at this
I
level.
wouldn't
So
even give him that much.
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah.
I'm
Listen,
sorry. I mean, not at this level,
nah,
right?
not
I
at the
mean,
level we're used to
he
seeing
could
him.
still play in the NBA, but
But this is what
he's not gonna be the guy.
this is what I'll say about that. The difference is Joel has had to be the guy. James has had to be the guy. If both of them are together and don't have to be the guy, does that not add years to their longevity? Don't
Uh,
you agree? When their
I,
when usage rate goes down because they're playing off each other, I think that would add years to their longevity. And that's why I gave James a 4-year window at this level. Obviously not scoring 30, but being a guaranteed all-star for at least the next 4 years. I don't think that's far-fetched.
um, I think there's a reason why he went to the Nets. I think
Okay.
he realized that he isn't the same. I mean, he could be, but like you said, it would take years off his knees. He isn't the same player that we used to, and playing alongside Kyrie and Durant, it prevents him sometimes from having to be that guy. KD will gladly be that guy. Kyrie will
Mm-hmm.
gladly be that guy. He defers from being that guy for many different reasons. I don't agree with trading a 24, 25-year-old kid for a 32, 33-year-old guy who has maybe 3 years left. And not only just that, you got to look at his track record. He goes somewhere, he doesn't win or it doesn't pan out the way he wants it to, he's out of there. So you have to question some loyalty to him. And I know all the big stars are doing it, but I'm old school
Mm-hmm.
basketball. I don't agree with it. Don't agree with Bron did. I don't agree with KD did, and I don't agree what Harden is doing. There's a certain thing of loyalty you have to a franchise. Once they sign you to a certain amount of money, they give them a little window to find somebody, or find people to put pieces around you. So, I don't want them. I think we can do much better in surrounding Embiid with cheaper talent, multiple players. We have multiple holes to fill on this team. This team is not one player away from a championship. And if we
I
do get
I say that particular person, that loyal person who stays on the team their entire career, they have to like be alpha males
yeah,
and demand that you get talent around them because you had that with Michael Jordan,
yep,
you had that with Kobe Bryant, you had that with Tim Duncan. Even though Tim Duncan was the most humble out the crew that I just mentioned, but you had that with him. In order for Embiid to be that, you have to do something about this situation, and you can't keep waiting. Like, all right, let's say, okay, we all gonna wait to the end of the season, see what happens in the off season, and he doesn't pull the trigger and get something really good. Do you think Embiid? And I need answer from everybody on this table. Do you think Embiid's patience is gonna go down?
I don't think outwardly in the media, because Embiid just a stand up guy like that doesn't seem like he'll throw his organization under the bus. But I do think, in the back of his head, he's going to start to question, will these guys give me the pieces I need to get over that second round hump? you know. And as a fan, as a lifetime fan, if we don't do something about it this year, I'll start to question, what the hell are we waiting for? What the hell are we waiting for? Tobias is obviously not the piece we need. So, unloading his contract on to get a couple of guys, I think will bode well for us. Whether the Ben Simmons situation gets figured out or not. If he wants to hold on to Ben because he's not getting the player he wants for Ben, fine. But you still have to upgrade the roster. I'm in great belief of that. You do not let this trade line go by without
Jen?
tweaking this roster.
I'm very curious to know. Maury and Joel have been chatting for some time. We saw them like playing tennis or whatever together over the summer, but they've been talking. So I'm curious how he feels he will fit in with James Harden. I mean, James Harden, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a top 75 player of all time.
Most definitely.
Do I think I think he's still got a couple years of greatness in him, and I think we could go really far. But at the same time, I agree with y'all that we need something now. We just, because it's too much of a mystery. You don't know what's going to happen between now and the summer. What if Harden gets hurt, and we're waiting all this time for something that's just going to waste more of Joel's prime. It's hard to guess.
You need to call and leave that message on Daryl Morey's phone, though. Not just tell the Sixers community, because I think that's his problem. He's just waiting. He's in love with James Harden, willing to wait forever for James. My true love will come back to me one day. I think that's where he's at with it. And at some point, he's got to realize, look, we waiting and we waiting and we waiting and we waiting. All we're doing is wasting away the most dominant big man we've seen since Shaq. I'm not taking nothing away from Giannis, but since Shaq, the most dominant big man this league has seen in a long time.
Yeah,
definitely.
Most definitely. I asked that question out there because basically I've been in Sixers 24/7 having wild debates, as we always do. Greg has knocked me over the head when I mentioned that I didn't want Harden, and I'm not saying it like it's shade towards Harden. He's a bad player. No. You have certain pieces that fit together on teams, and not just skill set wise, mentality as well. We're not the defensive minded team as we once were, and adding James Harden to that.
If we can score 130 points, we ain't got to stop nobody. Carl, I'm gonna stop you right there. If we can score 130 points, we don't gotta stop.
So listen, here you go.
And we still have Joel, who
with
is
a player like Harden on the team. It ain't gonna matter if she's gonna put no points up. So there go your defense right there.
And Joel has always wanted to be Defender of the Year. So let's see what he's got.
Here's my knock on it.
I understand you, Carl, but I just feel like we're not talking about adding a regular person.
I understand that.
Different. Like James Harden is different.
I understand that. And I get that this is the new NBA and, scoring high scores just like the NFL. They're scoring more points and things of that sort. But at the end of the day, you get in them playoffs and they cut that court in half. You're going to have to start playing defense. We don't have a perimeter defender now at all.
No, we
besides
don't.
Matisse Thybulle. So,
Charlie Brown, don't disrespect the young kid.
I'm not disrespecting Charlie Brown, but we're not getting James Harden for peanuts. They're going to want either Tyrese Maxey or Matisse Thybulle to get that deal done. So who are you bringing back after signing on a max guy and still having Tobias on a max contract and having Embiid on a max contract? Where is it room for defense?
So Lee, put back on that is, remember what I said. I don't want to trade Ben Simmons for James Harden. I want to trade Ben Simmons for pieces, and then I want to attack James Harden in the offseason. I'm not saying to get him right now. So that was my stance. I would like to get him not for Ben Simmons. And that's what Jose was saying. He doesn't like the trade of a young guy and Ben Simmons for an older guy and James Harden.
So you're saying move Ben Simmons now, which Maury has flat out said on every station, F no. He's just not doing it. He's not doing it.
So what if he finessing everybody? They allowed to do that?
They definitely allowed to do that. But, this would be the biggest finesse I've ever seen in my life because, nothing's moving.
He might got something up his sleeve he don't want to, expose.
Well, he got a month to figure it out. We got a month to
figure it out. TikTok.
He got 16 days. He got 16 days.
Exactly. Even less than that. So,
Yeah.
I think if something was going to happen for Ben Simmons, and you can go back to the tape of Morey. Morey
Hmm.
does not make last minute decisions.
He
He
doesn't.
does not. He's very prepared. He's very planned. It would already have to be in motion. He's still fielding calls. He's still
Hmm.
making calls, which leads to me, he hasn't had an offer that's like, all right, none of y'all don't call me no more. I'm
And this ain't his portfolio that got him feeling like this lately. The only reason why he's taking his sweet time right now because the team is balling out.
yeah, most definitely.
Truth.
Most definitely. But
Absolutely.
I think that's a reason why you shouldn't take your time, because Embiid is playing at an MVP caliber, because we obviously have holes on this team the size of the biggest bowling ball you could find in a bowling alley. It's just big, giant holes, if you're looking in the right places. Point guard, wing defender, shooters, shot makers. We don't have that. We don't have that. You got to be real with yourself. I'm all for the old school
Hey.
Sixers fan. And hey, what up, Ant? That
What up, man?
we could win with what we have. But realistically, going in the playoffs, we've seen teams take it up to a whole different level. Ask yourselves, can we match that level? Seeing what we've seen with the players that we have now, I just
No.
need to add something to the mix.
By all means necessary.
By all
But the
means.
thing, but the thing is adding.
PG want to argue with me tonight. Let's go.
I don't. And
Let's go.
I feel like we're gonna go over 30 minutes, and I'm trying not to, but I feel like it's gonna happen. You think adding a bunch of role players puts us over that hump?
The specific role players that fill specific needs on this team. I want a number 2 scorer as well. I do. We need a
But,
Robin here. But
but you want the holes filled first, because when we throw the word James Harden out, you don't like it. You say you want role players first. You want to fill the holes first, right?
I want to
right.
I want to fill. Listen, here's my thinking. I want to get rid of Ben off his contract, fill him with voids that he's missing, which is, a felicitator, a defender, and a shot maker, possibly. That leaves us a little bit of bread in free agency. Hopefully, we could get rid of Toby. If not, whatever. We can sign someone in free agency that's not Harden, that could possibly be a number 2 option as well. I just don't like the idea of all my eggs are in the Harden basket. We've been in this position before. He played this, went somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want to have all our eggs in the Harden basket and then be sitting there looking crazy. You know what I mean? When it's time.
But listen,
Sam disagrees with you, Carl.
Whatever,
Me too.
Sam. You always
The
disagree.
time is now. The time is now. I believe the time is now. We
Okay.
already blew
Say it again,
5
Jose.
years.
Say
You know
it
how
again,
many
Jose.
days that is? You know how many hours that is? You know how many minutes that is? You know how many seconds that is? That's enough. I've had it.
Carl, I think we need to decide on making a decision to win a championship now. We're talking about filling these holes. There's not a championship team you could tell me in the last 10 years that didn't have at least 2 stars. If we got Joel Embiid, got rid of Ben Simmons, and got a bunch of role players, guess what? That's just going to be Joel Embiid and a bunch of role players. We're not going to win a championship. What wins us a championship now? And that's what I want. I want a championship.
I mean, I'm in hopes of Tobias Harris being moved for a substantial player that could possibly be a number 2 option. He's being shopped around as well. I think we're looking in the wrong place. I know Ben's been all over the media. It's been everywhere. That's all we hear. Ben, 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 Ben. I think Tobias is the one that's not going to be a Sixer. I think Tobias will be the one that's moved, simply because he's not playing up to the standard that we expect.
But who's
not
going
playing
to
up to his
want him?
contract.
And what are we going to get in
That's what I'm
return?
saying. What psychopath GM is going to say, you know what? I want Tobias Harris, and I'm going to give y'all one of my stars.
Well,
It's
not
just
a,
hard to think.
$180
not a
million
star.
contract.
not a star, but let's go to the Sacramento Kings with the Halliburton Hill situation. I'll take both of those kids for Tobias Harris.
You'll take both of those kids, and we'll be watching the playoffs in the 3rd round again, Carl. I'm saying we need a needle mover, not piece fillers. We need to move the needle, is my personal opinion.
So how are we going to move the needle this year, BG? This is what I'm trying to figure out. We're getting close. We're 2 minutes out. We could argue. You could call me after
We ain't the
we
over unders. I ain't announced the starting lineup, but this is what
Let's
I like.
go
I
real
like this
quick. Over
debate.
and under. Let's get it.
All right, well,
Over and under.
Let's go.
Over and
What's
under.
the-
First, before over and under starting lineup, Tyrese Maxey, Furkan Korkmaz, Joel Embiid, Tobias Harris. Welcome back, Matisse Thybulle.
Let's go.
All right, so
Oh.
Defense
while
on
I
the court.
while I was at work thinking of the over unders today, I came up with two, and then I forgot about the one that we said we're going to stick with until it doesn't happen. So the first one is Joel Embiid, 33 points over under. Go, Carl, you first.
Over.
Jenny,
I said I'd never go against my big man again, so I'm not going to do it. But so I'm going with the over, even though in my mind I think he's not going to play that long.
Stay with your guy, Jen. You're gonna win. You're gonna win.
All right. So right now, I got to bring a little bit of history into the mix because I could have swore this man scored 50 points in 27 minutes. Huh? Close to it.
True.
Yes, sir. Yes,
You are
sir.
Close
smart
to it.
man.
And did I say that right? Okay.
Yes, you
sir.
Yeah, I'm
did.
going over.
Yes, you
Okay.
did.
that's a clean sweep on the overs for that one. The second over under. I don't know if you guys remember, we opened the season up against this team. We beat them by 20, 117 and 97. I am putting my defense on notice. We are playing a team missing their top 5 players. Do we hold them 99 points over under? Carl, start it off. They don't have none of their starters. None of the people they plan to start the season with is playing tonight.
Under.
We held them to 97 with Brandon Ingram and the rest of the starters playing except for Zion. But do you think we hold them 99 points over under? Jen?
What was that?
Sorry.
We gotta add that sound effect to the board, Jose.
There we go. Back. I'm gonna go under.
Okay.
Jose?
Under
Under.
97, was it?
Under 99. They scored 97 the last time, but my goal is just to hold them under.
Over with Joel. Under with 99.
I'm going to go under as well. That makes us a clean sweep on that one. And the last over under for tonight. Last game was the first time in a while that I saw this, and I was very happy to see it in person, by the way. 4 starters scored in double digits. 4 starters scored in double digits. Looking at this starting lineup, we added a guy who doesn't score much. So do we have 4 players in double digits, over or under?
You should have said 3. That would have made it 4 if we said over. But now we need 5 people to win.
Exactly. And you can't take the even. You can't take the even
With
money.
the
You can't
depleted
stay out
roster, I'm gonna go over.
I'm gonna go under.
You know, I'm in the lead, so I don't want to mess with my lead right now, man. You know, I had to add that. BJ.
Oh, God.
You know what I mean? I had to throw it out there. I'm gonna go over. I think these guys will be firing from all cylinders tonight because who's out there? You know, who's out there? So I'm gonna go over. And I'm putting my
Over, under, and over is what I said.
I'm
Sure.
gonna go under. I don't think Matisse gives us double figures. Sadly, I think we get exactly
But,
4.
hey, you didn't say the starters though. You said people, players.
No,
You did.
I said 4 starters. 4 starters.
Oh, okay.
We got to run that tape back and listen because
I said 4 starters.
Yeah, I didn't
because
hear
last
that.
game- Last
So can I
game,
retract my statement then?
I said last game we had 4 people in the starting lineup in double figures, and we haven't seen that in a long time. Do you sure what we going with? I'm going under.
No, I'll stick to my
I think
gun.
it's going to be 4. I think it's going to be 4, so I'm taking the under.
I think this team. I think Matisse could put a little 10 bomb on them.
most definitely. Real quick, I'm gonna go to Ant Sums. Ant Sums is saying over. Samuel Jones is saying under. Ant Sums saying under on the last one, I believe. Ashley Nicole is saying over, and she's also saying, "Hello, Uncle Brian."
That's her daughter. Her daughter is type. Yeah, we'll keep going.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
hey, Aubrey.
All the family. So, any closing thoughts on tonight's matchup before we close out and let people go watch the game?
Let's go Sixers.
Enjoy the game, everybody.
Enjoy
That's all I
the
got.
game.
It's
Come back
always
here
let's go
afterwards
Sixers.
and let's talk.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about it.
Back here after the game, you already know, and don't forget to tell a friend, to tell a friend, to tell a friend.
And if you are not here pregame and postgame, I don't know where you are in your life.
What's that?
Gotta be here.
What's that right there? You'll see this face. Look, am I pointing at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube? Hold up, and Twitch. Follow us, man. It takes 2 seconds to hit the follow button.
Let's
Big
go.
facts.
Go Sixers.
Let's go.
Let's go.